Guys, welcome back to a vlog. It's been a long time. I am here outside Santa Cruz in California, and I'm here with Alexander, and we are visiting David Blume's amazing farm. He's going to share with us some big ideas today around alcohol as energy, and we're going to go look at his wasabi products, and we're going to be on a learning journey. I don't know quite where it's going to take us, but thank you so much for having me here today, and for everything you've shared already. I hope you guys learned something new. We'll put some links in below so you can go read some more, but I'm already having my brains blown out here, so we'll see what we find.
Sing your own melody, even if it's out of key. If you're gonna move your feet, do it to your own beat. Soon enough you will see, you are you and I am me. That's alright, and you don't need to make up apologies.
This is an old iron from about 1900.
Yeah.
And you'll notice there's a little fuel tank on the back.
Yeah.
It was an alcohol-powered iron.
Wow.
So there's a burner on the inside that heats up the iron so that you can iron your clothes without making them smelly.
But it's mad that we used to use this and then we forgot.
Well, oil became popular since then, and then electricity became popular, and this got lost. This is where we make alcohol. In this big tank here, we'll put in our raw material. It could be apple pulp, it could be old bread, and we cook that stuff up to make sure it's sterile. It starts eating all the sugar,
Yeah.
and half the sugar becomes alcohol, and half becomes carbon dioxide.
Okay.
It goes out through those gray pipes up there, and
Yep.
we take the carbon dioxide that's going out the gray pipes, we put it in our greenhouses where plants eat the carbon dioxide, and it triples yield per square foot.
So you put apples in here, add yeast,
And then at that point, we now have wine, 12% alcohol.
plus you have the carbon dioxide that goes to feed your greenhouse.
That's correct.
Okay. And the
We don't-
plants
we don't
eat that
waste
up.
anything on this farm.
No.
We want to make it 100% alcohol.
Okay.
And as it percolates down, we're putting steam in the bottom, and the steam is going up. It evaporates the alcohol
Yeah.
over and over, and when it gets to the top, it's now, instead of 12% alcohol, it's 50% alcohol.
Okay.
Now we have another column outside that takes it from 50% to 96%, and then we use a different process to get the last little 4% of water.
Okay.
And then we have pure alcohol.
Pure alcohol.
And I've shown people how to make something that's simpler than this, where they can make 100 gallons in a day at their house.
How much would that kit cost for someone to do it at their house?
At 100 gallons at a batch, that's every 3 days, you might spend $5,000 to $6,000 building it. But at 100 gallons per day, you could take care of 10 other neighbors.
Let's see some more then. And then what do you do with it?
Well, we use it for all kinds of things. We use it for running our cars.
Okay.
We use it for extracting valuable substances out of plant matter. Like you'll see later, we'll show you some wasabi.
Yeah.
Where we chop it up and put it in alcohol, and all the medicinal products migrate into the alcohol, and then we can sell a concentrated extract into the nutraceutical business for a lot of money.
Just as a distraction, do you mind if I hold that spanner, the biggest spanner I've ever seen in my life?
Oh, this one here.
Yeah, I just want to know what that feels like.
Well, it's pretty big.
Holy moly.
You know.
Where are the nuts that belong in this spanner?
I'll show you.
All right, nice one.
When they went out of business, they had thousands of gallons of waste beer they had to get rid of. So this bag is full of beer here.
You got loads of beer.
Right? We'll boil off the alcohol from this in our distillery.
Huh.
Then we'll use the liquid that's left over, because beer has often been called poor man's bread, because you make it from grains, and all the nutrients that are in grains are dissolved in the beer.
This just goes straight into that column 1.
That's right.
And then column 2, and then the third process, and then you get 100% alcohol back out of this.
And what's left over is nutrient
For your plants.
liquid, which we can use for fertilizer and avoid using any oil-based fertilizer.
So are you going to put beer into your wasabi?
Yes. If you take beer and you make a powder out of the beer, get rid of the water,
Yeah.
there's incredible nutrients in beer that most people don't know because it's so dilute. But once we get rid of the water by distillation, what we have is a concentrated food product that came from grain and yeast, and it's really good for you.
Wow. Who knew that beer would save the day, you know?
Beer will save the world. So, yeah, let's go ahead.
Nice.
Everything you do is amazing, so long as you...
Yeah, they were here when we moved in, and we keep selling them. 5 of those stalks we get about $2 for.
Wow.
And it just keeps making them, so
That's beautiful.
keep cutting them.
One thing about you needs changing.
Oh, so much nicer and quieter in here.
Yes, ecology happens everywhere. Okay?
Yeah.
So you'll look over here and you'll see maidenhair ferns, and you'll notice there's no sun on them.
Yeah.
Well, that's normal for ferns. They don't like being in the sun. But if we were trying to grow valuable vegetables there, they would do poorly. So
Sure.
we picked a plant that likes that environment.
Yeah.
Have a clump that's about this big that I cut here.
Wow.
That's about $6. And every bride wants maidenhair ferns in the bouquets on the table. So this white powder is chalk.
Okay.
It's calcium and sulfur, which is really good for our soil here. Mixing it in, and you can see it's not nasty clay at all anymore. You can see it's become really nice soil. So that's part of it, but we also add tons of organic matter, which we'll see later.
See, you don't need to be like everybody, 'cause fitting in is overrated, yeah.
That's a bok choy,
Thank you.
which is a fermented vegetable.
Sing your own melody, even if it's out of key.
I can sell a bottle of kimchi for $5. So that's $5,000 in this one little patch.
Wow. How long does all of this stuff take to grow?
60 days.
60 days.
Oh, yeah. So over the last half year, I've come here maybe 4 or 5 times. Each time I'm here is totally different. First time I came
Really?
here, this was all full of green. This was like tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers,
Wow.
lemon cucumbers.
There's only about an acre,
Yeah.
1 acre.
And you're talking about $5,000 worth of, thank you, of stuff.
When you feed people, well,
Nutrients, diverse.
really what people want.
It's
I'm
flourishing.
going to show you a little taste of the tropics here.
I'm British. I've just been through a cold winter. I haven't felt warmth or anything tropical in a bloody long time.
Sing your own melody, even if it's out of key.
Smell the tropics.
You're gonna move your feet, the way to your beat.
Boom.
A papaya, which is flowering. Each one of those flowers can become a papaya.
To make up apologies.
What the heck is that?
That,
Kiwano.
That's from a different planet.
well, actually, it was featured once in Star Trek as a weird alien vegetable. It's called horned melon. They are native to Africa, but they do grow them in other places. And they have a wonderful sweet, sour pulp inside of them.
Wow.
Which is,
Heavy. So heavy. And
Yeah.
spiky.
yeah, all cucumbers used to have spikes like that.
Is it a cucumber?
It's in the cucumber family.
Whoa.
So they bred cucumbers and bred them down until they had no spines left. Now, if you look at a cucumber, you'll see all the little black spots.
Whoa.
Those used to be the spines back in the old
It's
days.
like us domesticating dogs or whatever from wolves. We've kind of domesticated
the-
our cucumbers.
All the vegetables we eat are domesticated from nature.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of the foods we have now, it's only a couple hundred years old. You see
Yeah.
some Renaissance paintings of watermelons, and they're much smaller.
Yes.
They have lots of big seeds in them and very little red flesh. They're
Wow.
mostly greenish.
Let me break one open so you can see it. It's like a combination of a cucumber and a watermelon.
Sounds like it'd be great for a drink.
Oh, it is. We use our alcohol here and we make it into liquor. So
Oh.
just
Spin it around the other way so you see what
Yes,
they will
here
be
you
seeing.
go.
Just keep it on the side, and then I'll just give it a squeeze in my mouth.
Yep, that's it.
Damn.
See, you don't need to be like everybody, 'cause fitting in is overrated.
Coffee is a cherry-like fruit.
Yes.
And we take the flesh off and we keep the seed for our beverage, which is coffee. So 95% of the fruit is thrown away. That fruit is full of sugar and pectin, and we can ferment that. And the second biggest commodity in the world after oil is coffee. So oil is our
Wow.
economic drug, but coffee is the drug for the rest of it.
I guess the theme I'm seeing is that, like, so much of what might be waste in farming
Yes.
can be used as fermented and then produced into alcohol, which
Absolutely.
can then be a natural resource to use for loads of different things.
Well, running all of our cars, making electricity,
Exactly.
running the farm, making medicine.
As you said, you could give it to your neighbors or
and we
swap
could
things with them.
Drink it. So we're starting a liquor company. now.
Drink it. To reduce waste and improve productivity
Yes.
an alcohol plant or an alcohol distillery would
In a
be
farming area.
in a farming environment is a complete complement. Is there anything you grow that you can't turn into alcohol?
Well, wood doesn't easily turn into alcohol, even though it's a plant.
No, but the fruits and the vegetables, all of that stuff.
Yes,
Wow.
all of that can be made into alcohol.
What's blowing my mind in this little walkthrough is when we started in that distillery, even the sound is different, the feeling is different. It feels like you're in an industrial process that's so detached and divorced from nature. But what I'm seeing here is that there's such a symbiotic natural relationship between the growing of diverse, nutrient-rich fruit and vegetable and the production of alcohol. And I've drunk too much alcohol before, and I think we all know the downsides of alcohol, but it seems to be, one, a natural complement to a regenerative farming environment, but two, a way of reducing waste and storing value to share or to use in lots of different ways. It's almost restitching the idea of alcohol back to the idea of ecology. It was almost a completely divorced idea for me that was an industrial process, but now I can see how it fits in this more natural environment.
We have a folk hero called Johnny Appleseed.
Oh yeah.
And we've all heard of him, but we didn't know what he really did. And what he did is he went to the cider presses where they made apple cider, and he'd take the seeds that were squeezed out of the apples, and he'd walk out to where people weren't yet farming. And he'd find a creek or a river, and he'd plant all the seed in the sand by the side of the river. And then a year later, when people moved out and started having their farms, he'd dig up the trees, the little 5-foot tall, little whip of trees, and he'd bring them as transplants for the farm. And every farm had an apple orchard, but none of them were eaten. They were nasty, sour, not very tasty apples, but they would make the alcohol into things that they fermented. So they'd have lanterns that they could read by putting alcohol, a little bit of pine sap in it, make a beautiful yellow light. They would use it for a disinfectant, for instance, in milking cows. They would clean the tits first with the alcohol to make sure there were no bacteria. Alcohol was used for making herbal medicines on the farm. The list goes on and on about why alcohol was important to every farmer, and every farmer either made the crops for alcohol and took it to a distillery to get it made into alcohol, or they had it still on the farm. We need to get back to that again, because otherwise we're going to just keep buying oil from people who treat us badly.
Well, and I'm not getting into the politics, but that's what's going on with Russia, isn't it?
That's exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the world who should be uniting to condemn the invasion of another country, and people who are worried about their oil going, well, maybe it's okay, I'm not so worried about it, oh shucks, it sounds terrible, but I can't do without my cheap oil, so I'm not going to oppose them. Man, I'm telling you, if somebody invades another country in this day and age, they need to have their hand slapped. And sitting back because you're worried that oil prices are going to go up is not a good excuse to not punish a bad actor.
Totally. But we need an alternative, and it's sitting there in broad daylight.
You don't have to go. You already know. You already know.
We have hot water left over for making alcohol. We also make hot water in the tops of the greenhouses. In the summer, the temperature on the top of the greenhouse is 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
And we're able to exchange that heat into water and fill the tank. And we'll show you where we use the hot water down below.
Wow, okay. Oh, a methane digester.
All of these systems are connected. Whatever surplus you have, or
Of methane.
what other people would call waste from the methane digestion, goes in and serves as a nutrient now for the cattails.
Oh, wow.
So then you grow the cattails, which, as David already mentioned, has now the roots are also a rhizome that contains lots of starch.
Okay.
So then you can take that starch again and distill it again and make more alcohol with it.
How do we use the hot water? Well, you'll see there's a pipe here with a yellow tube. This tube goes down into the ground.
A blue tube.
Yes, the blue tube.
Yeah.
Over a meter.
Yeah.
4 feet. Goes all the way down under the soil and comes up at the far side of
Okay.
that other pipe. So we can take the hot water and we can put it through this pipe, and it bottom heats the soil. The plant's roots go down there to the warm water, and they pull that up, and they're internally heated. They don't care if it's freezing here because they're internally heated to a nice temperature.
You've got underfloor heating for your plants.
It's 90% less energy to heat the ground than it is to heat the whole greenhouse.
Tomatoes fruiting at basically freezing at night because you've got electric socks on their feet.
Underneath, and sometimes we heat the water too.
Ah.
With free heat.
So you give them a warm drink and electric socks and they'll grow even in the freezing cold.
Yeah, although this drink is in alcohol, we save that for ourselves.
Yeah, good.
We're just taking advantage of their inherent nature and not trying to force them into a seasonal machine to produce food for us.
This is all good, is it still?
It's ready, oh yeah, ready to eat.
Yeah, because I would think that's gone. But you don't think that's gone?
No, they're the best.
They have hard shells, so you open them up and you have
Wow.
a slimy deliciousness
Whoa.
on
Just squeeze that into your mouth
Certainly will, sir.
and it blows your mind.
the inside. So good. Oh, thank you.
Damn.
So think about passion fruit liquor that we're going to make.
Sing your own melody, even if it's out of key. If you're gonna move your feet, do it to your beat. Soon enough, you will see you are you.
What you're seeing here are like potatoes. You know, one potato makes many potatoes.
Yes.
So these are side shoots, and you can plant that and you'll get another wasabi.
Oh, this is wasabi.
This is wasabi, and this is...
Wow, I wouldn't have known that.
The rhizome or stem that you use for
Whoa.
for eating.
I had no idea.
And these are the little side shoots that are being made. So we'll plant all those, or you can plant them in pots in your house.
I'd love to.
Go ahead.
I'm all about that. My girlfriend, she loves sushi, to be fair. I love
Oh,
wasabi.
no, but you don't understand.
Okay,
Sushi, the
Yeah.
wasabi they bring to you is counterfeit.
right.
This is $150 a pound. So what they get, yes, absolutely. This is about almost half a pound. This is worth $100. You know,
Wow.
$70 to $100 depending on the price. The thing about Japanese restaurants is they don't want to pay this price, so they take horseradish, an American or British, root crop, and it only has the burn. It doesn't have all the flavors of wasabi.
Yeah.
And then they mix it with mustard powder,
Okay.
more burn, and then green tea to make it look green. This is a green color.
I had no idea.
And so people eat that thinking, wow, that's wasabi. The flavors from this, once you've had this, you'll never go back to horseradish.
Wow.
It's amazing. And we grow this over the top because wasabi can't have any direct sunlight.
I see.
So we grow that over the top instead of buying shade cloth, and we get a crop from that.
You're living the life, man. Passion fruit and wasabi. This isn't the farming I'm familiar with.
It's not your grandfather's farm.
I just had one thought, which is talking about these alcohol plants that could be done on small bits of land for like $5,000-$6,000 or whatever. I have a hybrid car at the moment because there isn't really enough electric infrastructure for me to feel comfortable going full electric, and they're super expensive.
With alcohol making a hybrid car, you could make electricity with the alcohol engine running your electric car, and now you can go 3 or 4 days without running out. These are all tropical plants that will be planted over there.
This is your startup scene for your next for your next accelerator. He said they love living with people, so we go for some normal English room temperature, bit of light but no direct sunlight. I'm going to be rich, Rodney. I'm going to be rich.
Or you'll be well fed.
Yeah.
It's my job
Yeah.
to ask you for money.
Okay.
Now, not you, but you must have friends that invest in things.
I think so.
And Alexander is invested in the Wasabi project. If you show people this and we go, cool, how
Yeah.
do I get into this? We can send them the paperwork, and there's
Awesome.
plenty of room to invest.
Nice. Okay, cool. And everything I need to know about making an alcohol plant is in this book? That's it. I think we're going to do it. This is what we're taking home. If people want to find you, what's the best link?
You can go to our website
Yep.
at alcoholcanbeagas.com.
Alcoholcanbeagas.com. And if they want to find the wasabi and maybe get
You can
involved?
find me there too.
All right, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet.
Hope to see you again. All right, guys, that's one hell of a download for you. Hopefully through some of those stories you can see how these processes of alcohol can be really symbiotic with good regenerative and low waste farming. Let me know what you think, stick your comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Take care of yourselves, look after each other. I'll see you soon.
Hey.